Good afternoon and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. We're certainly glad to have you, and as always, we're thankful for BTC Fiber, who supports our program. And you can see our program on BTC Fiber's Channel 18 as well as BTC Fiber's YouTube page. And we also would like to thank some other sponsors we have for our program: Ember's Ice Cream here in Pikeville, Nickel Roll Antiques in Pikeville, as well as White Wagon Bed and Breakfast. So if you ever need an ice cream, you need to go check out some antiques, or if you want to check out the bed and breakfast and need to stay in Pikeville, go by and see those fine folks. Today we have with us Rachel Peeples, and she's the manager here at Kudzu Cottage, I should say. And thank you, Rachel, for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Well, it's always a welcome to have you. And we should point out Rachel's mother, Elizabeth Elgin, is the owner here at Kudzu Cottage, and Rachel just happens to manage it. So, Rachel, let me ask, how long have y'all been in business here at this location?
Well, my mom purchased the house in 2015, and it took us 2 years of renovations to open, but we opened October 7th of 2017. So we're about to come up on our 5th year anniversary.
Wow, 5 years. That's pretty neat. And so you've always been here at this spot?
Yes. This is our only location.
Well, what are some of the services that you offer here at this location?
We primarily sell quilting supplies, so you can make your own quilt. We don't quilt for people, but we do sell quilting supplies and fine yarns. So the nicer stuff that you won't find at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's is the kind of yarn that we have. We also have notions like knitting needles, crochet hooks. We do patterns as well, but we also offer free classes on sewing, knitting, and crocheting.
Oh, so that keeps people busy then.
Yes, we try to keep people busy.
I guess that keeps y'all busy. Huh?
Yes, it does.
Well, those classes, how often do you offer them, and when do you do them?
We offer them at first come, first serve, kind of will call basis. So, for example, if you're sitting at home working on something and you're looking at it and going, this doesn't look right, give us a call and we'll figure out who you need to talk to, whether it's me, I do the knitting and the crocheting, and Mom does the sewing, and we'll set you up an appointment. So if you're available on a Saturday, then we'll set you up something for a Saturday, but you just let us know in advance, that way we can be ready for you.
And speaking of Saturdays, what are your hours here?
We're normally open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That may change a little bit coming in the fall. My mom is retiring, so she'll be here more often, and I will be going to another job. So she's really excited about all this changing. So we're not entirely sure, but as for the moment, we're 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday.
Oh, well, so that keeps y'all pretty busy then.
Yes.
And do you have a lot of, I'm sure you have a lot of different customers with all the services you offer, but do you have a lot of repeat customers that keep coming in?
Oh, absolutely. We have wonderful customers. I have a few people who come down every week, sometimes just to visit with the shop dog, which is Loki. So if you've been in, or if you hear him whining in the background, that's Loki. He's happy to see everyone, thinks everybody comes to see him. And then, of course, we get people coming down from Fall Creek Falls all the time, people who are staying at the White Wagon, or just come to town just checking things out. So we've got repeats and we've got new people, and we're happy to see everyone.
And I guess actually quilting and crocheting and everything, I know when I was growing up it was pretty popular, but now it's kind of almost a dying art, isn't it?
Some of the needle arts are kind of dying, but at the same time they're starting to have kind of a resurgence. Mostly, COVID did a lot of damage to a lot of the economy, but it also caused people to stay at home and kind of get back to some of these handcrafts that their grandparents used to do, and that falls right into our territory of knitting, crocheting, quilting. I even get some people who asked to learn how to tat, which we do needle tatting and shuttle tatting too. So we're seeing a comeback. We'd like to see more. We'd like to see encourage small children ages 6 and higher to come in and kind of learn things like crocheting or knitting, and then as they get older they can pick up a sewing machine, which my mom's happy to teach. So it's coming back, just a little bit at a time, and all it takes is a free lesson and a willingness to learn.
Yeah. Well, I know used to, when I was younger, they used to have these little kits for the little hot pads you can make, the back. And my sister and I used to do those quite a bit.
Yes. I remember the loom woven, they were like cotton rubber band like things. Yeah. I don't have any of those in stock, but I do know of them, and I can teach it if I get my hands on ones.
Well, talking about in stock, you took me around earlier, and you have quite a bit of stuff here. But if there were something that, in particular, someone wanted or needed, for example, can y'all order that if it's available? Or
Absolutely. So what we try to let people know is we can order things for you. The only thing is that sometimes it's more expensive for us to order it than it would be for you to go to a regular retailer like Amazon or Walmart. If that's the case, we will tell you in advance and say, hey, we can get this, but you can get it cheaper here. These hobbies are not cheap, so we understand at some point you have to watch the bottom dollar. But if there's something you just want us to order and you want us to sell it to you, we will absolutely do that, and we will give you a price before we do that. That way you know what you're ordering and how much it's going to cost you.
all right, Rachel, are there local groups that get together to quilt? I know in other communities they are.
Yes, there's Wilderness Ridge. They come down quite a bit to quilt or buy supplies to quilt. I know there's Tri-County Quilters as well, and I think there's another one up in Fairfield Glade. I don't know if there's one in Pikeville immediately, but once my mom's in the shop more often, there might be a local one. She's talked about opening a guild for a long time, but there are guilds in the area that are very welcoming, and they do a lot of projects and do benefits and quilts of valor and things like that. So
Yes, I've seen a lot of quilts that, because you see them at fairs and things where they have quilts that show, and when you look, quilting's not easy. It's not an easy art.
it gets easier the more you do it. So it's definitely a learned art, and practice makes perfect.
And I'm just always amazed at the designs and the color combinations that people get in. I mean, that's an art itself.
Yes. Not everyone understands color theory, but what appeals to you is all that matters.
Well, you said you started in 2017.
Yes.
We started working on the store, or did you open?
We opened in 2017. We started refurbishing the house in 2015.
Well, what was the drive behind opening the business? Was this something y'all have always had in mind, or?
Well, having a quilt shop has been my mother's dream ever since she was a little girl. She actually put herself through school doing sewing for people when she was a kid. And she's a nurse practitioner now, but she's getting ready to retire. And for years, she dreamed about opening her own quilt shop. And when she moved to Pikeville because she married Pat, this home was empty, and it sat empty for several years. And one day she drove by and it was for sale, and she asked how much, and Lord provided. It was a price tag that she could afford, and the rest is history. So it's really making her dream come true.
Well, good. That gives her something to look forward to each and every day.
Yes, every day. She's always thinking about new ways and new things she can do here at the shop. So it's a lot of fun watching her. She gets very excited. So we're excited for her to be able to retire from nursing and begin quilting full time.
Well, now, did COVID hurt your business like it did a lot of businesses?
It did. We were very fortunate because my mother does work full-time still, and that's how we survived it. If it hadn't been for government programs and Mom working full-time, then I don't think we would have made it. But our customers are generous, and they're very loyal, they're very kind, and we had people coming by, leaving us presents on the front porch and saying, we're thinking of you. And of course, we were donating masks and making masks for people, and that got us through for quite a while. So it was hard, but we're thankful to be in a community where it's very supportive and people are excited about the arts, and having 2 quilt shops in town is great, and they really wanted to see that continue. So through the grace of God and our customers, we're still here.
Well, that's great. Now, excuse me. Now, if people wanted to get in touch with you that are maybe a little out of town here, how do they get in touch with y'all? We
have a website you can go to. It's kudzucottagetn.com. So it's KUDZUCOTTAGETN.com. And our website has a contact us, so you can send us an email directly there. It's info@kudzucottagetn.com, or they can find us on Facebook.
And what's your number here if they're local?
If you're local and just want to give us a call, this is 423-447-2818 is the shop number.
All right, well, good. And so I guess now you're, I guess all year really you kind of stay busy with, instead of just the winter months when people are in, a lot. You have people coming by and getting supplies and doing things.
Yeah, what they're buying changes by the season. So what we've noticed here lately is that in the summer it's the quilting months, and in the winter it's the knitting and crocheting months. So we do sell a combination of quilting supplies and yarn supplies for that reason. We also carry DMC floss and embroidery projects. So getting a little bit for everybody across the line, but it does vary from time to time. Sometimes it's all fabric all the time, and other times it's yarn stuff all the time.
Now, you were showing me a machine a while ago that you rent out. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we do not do long arm services for people, but we do offer a long arm class that they can take for free. And the way it works is they bring us a flat sheet and we cut it in half and we show them how it's mounted on our long arm frame. And we basically show them how to use a long arm quilting machine. Then, if they decide that's something that they want to do, we set up in a time, and we charge $12.50 an hour plus a $5 thread fee. We help them mount the quilt. We still thread the machine, change the bobbins, and then they put the pattern on their quilt. It is a hand-driven machine, so if you can draw it, that's what it'll come out like. If they decide after the free class, this is not for me, we do have the name and numbers of several quilters in the area that do excellent jobs, and we do highly recommend them all.
So really, if you can't help them get started on their own, then you have other people that
Yes.
you can get them out to. And
Absolutely. The guilds are great for that, and we encourage anyone who does seamstressing or tailoring work or quilting or basic sewing to bring us a card and introduce themselves, and we're happy to pass people along when they say, hey, do you have somebody that tailors clothes? I personally don't. I would not trust my sewing, my knitting or crocheting, absolutely, but not my sewing. So if that's a service that you're willing to provide, we pass that information along to people who are looking for it.
well, that's good because you work with others, and that way it provides a good knit within the community.
Absolutely. We're of the philosophy that if one succeeds, we all succeed. So we highly recommend restaurants, hotels, small businesses, individuals, all the time. So if we know about you, then we definitely pass the word along if we can.
Now you showed me a quilt piece a while ago that you have up for, I guess, an auction. Tell me a little bit about that and what it's for, because we
Okay.
want to promote that. And
Absolutely. Well, starting this fall, I'll be teaching the middle school art program here at Bledsoe County Middle School. The program's been dormant for over 5 years, and there's not a lot in the cupboard, and budgets are limited, which is the case with most school programs. My mom, being an artist like myself, went, well, we can't have that. So she took one of my favorite quilts that we made here in the shop as a sample, and she is raffling it off. And the goal is to sell tickets, and we're going to pull for the quilt on July the 16th at 5 o'clock, and all the proceeds from the quilt are going to be donated to the middle school art program by my mother. So I am personally not the one in charge of the raffle. I got to state that. The schools don't like it when we do raffles, but individuals can contribute funds or materials. So my mom's chosen to raffle the quilt, and all the proceeds will go to a check that says Bledsoe County Middle School Art Program, and that will hopefully help fund a few more art classes and get a few more supplies into the class and help our students learn more.
so really, your whole family is involved in art and all kind of
yes.
things. So
All of us. We all do some kind of art, whether it's quilting or sewing or painting or drawing or needle arts or woodworking or metal arts. You name it. If you can spend some money on it, we spend a lot. So we enjoy the arts. And
so you're a pretty talented family then.
Yes.
That's good because not everybody can do what you do, and
It takes time and practice, but hopefully we can encourage more people to try, and you'll find that niche that speaks to you, and that's all that matters.
that's true. I think I've asked that. Well, is there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like for people to know about the shop or about the things you offer?
Well, I'm sure you guys heard in the background some whining and whimpering. That's Loki, our shop dog. He's a big old black standard poodle who likes to bounce and yip, but he's very friendly and he greets everyone. So I have a lot of people get startled by him, and I apologize, but he gets separation anxiety if we leave him home alone. So he's the shop baby. And so don't be afraid if you come in the door and you get a barking noise from the kitchen, or if he greets you at the door, because he really just wants pets and attention. So we're animal lovers.
So bring a little dog food every now and then.
Oh, yeah, little dog treats won't hurt him at all. Of course, he might decide he wants to go home with you, so there is that. You will have to feed him and groom him, and I highly recommend Pikeville Pampered Paws, which is where I send him. So if you need one that needs grooming, there you go.
Well, we appreciate that. And is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the shop that we haven't covered?
There's so much about the shop that is just amazing. I will tell you how we got our name, and a lot of people ask that. It's like, why did you call it Kudzu Cottage? When my mom purchased the home in 2015, it was overrun by kudzu. It literally came up and over the back porch and wrapped around the house and went through our back porch, actually. And so whenever Mom came to town to work on stuff, she said, I'm going to go work on Kudzu Cottage. And so that's how we named our shop, because it was overrun by kudzu. And kind of like kudzu, if you give us 5 minutes, we'll grow on you.
Well, that's true. Kudzu's everywhere in the South. And, it was brought over from the Europeans,
yes,
from my understanding.
Yes.
And,
came from Japan. They tried to curb soil erosion, and unfortunately didn't think about Japan has a neat little beetle that eats kudzu. America does not. So, whoops.
Oh, well. Well, folks, again, thank you for being with us today, and you can see this program on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as Channel 18. And also don't forget our sponsors program, Ember's Ice Cream, Nickel Roll Antique, and White Wagon Bed and Breakfast. So until next time, have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Sequatchie Valley.